Hollywood also had an obsession with image that crossed into cruelty. Actress Rita Hayworth was born with a natural hairline that executives believed looked too ethnic. To make her appear more white and glamorous, she underwent painful electrolysis treatments to permanently alter her hairline. She endured this procedure for years, all so she could fit a manufactured image. By the time she became a superstar, her public persona was completely different from who she truly was. One of the strangest true stories involves actor Clark Gable, one of the biggest stars of his era. During the filming of a movie, he was reportedly bitten by a co-star who was not mentally stable. The studio quietly covered it up to avoid scandal. Gable continued working as if nothing happened, while the incident was erased from public memory. In old Hollywood, protecting a star's image was more important than acknowledging reality. Then there was the case of Jean Harlow, the platinum blonde bombshell whose beauty defined an era. At just 26 years old, she suddenly became violently ill. Her symptoms were ignored by those around her, including studio executives who insisted she keep working. By the time she was hospitalized, it was too late. She died from kidney failure, a condition that could have been treated if it had been taken seriously earlier. Her death shocked Hollywood, but the system that pushed her to that point remained unchanged. Hollywood's bizarre stories also include secret relationships that would destroy careers if exposed. Rock Hudson, one of the most masculine leading men of the time, was forced to hide his sexuality. The studio arranged a fake marriage for him to protect his image. Everyone involved knew the truth, but it was treated like a state secret. When Hudson later died from AIDS, the revelation shocked the public and exposed the brutal lengths Hollywood went to in order to maintain illusions. Some stories feel almost supernatural. Actor Lon Chaney, known as the Man of 1,000 Faces, was famous for performing his own dangerous makeup and stunts. For one role, he wore a harness that permanently damaged his spine. He endured constant physical pain to create unforgettable characters. His dedication was admired, but it ultimately shortened his life. Old Hollywood also had a dark relationship with death itself. Actress Olive Thomas, a rising star, died under mysterious circumstances after ingesting mercury. Some believe it was an accident, others believe it was suicide, and some believe it was something even darker. The truth was never fully revealed, and her death became one of Hollywood's first major scandals. Another chilling story involves actor Errol Flynn, whose wild lifestyle became legendary. He faced multiple accusations of serious crimes, yet he continued working and remained a box office draw. Many believed his fame protected him from consequences. His life became a symbol of how Hollywood power could bend reality itself. One of the most bizarre stories of all involves actor Bela Lugosi, famous for playing Dracula. After his death, his family honored his wish to be buried in his Dracula cape. It sounds theatrical, but it was completely true. He was laid to rest wearing the very costume that made him famous, forever merging the man with the monster he portrayed. Hollywood's control extended beyond life and into death. Actress Marilyn Monroe, perhaps the most iconic star of all time, died under circumstances that remain controversial. Officially ruled a probable suicide, many inconsistencies in the case have fueled speculation for decades. Missing evidence, conflicting witness statements, and strange delays in reporting her death have kept questions alive. Whether accident, suicide, or something more sinister, her story remains one of Hollywood's greatest mysteries. There were also bizarre physical transformations demanded by studios. Actress Joan Crawford reportedly had multiple ribs removed to achieve a slimmer waist. While some debate the medical details, there is no doubt that extreme measures were encouraged to meet impossible beauty standards. Pain and risk were considered acceptable prices for fame. Hollywood even controlled stars' names and identities. Actor Archibald Leach was told his name was unacceptable. The studio renamed him Cary Grant, a name they believed sounded more sophisticated. He embraced it, but later admitted he sometimes felt like he was playing a role even off-screen. Unsure where the character ended and the real person began. One of the eeriest true stories involves actor Montgomery Clift. After a horrific car accident, his face was severely damaged. Instead of allowing him time to heal properly, the studio rushed him back to work. Surgeons reconstructed his face, but his appearance was never the same. The emotional trauma contributed to his struggles with addiction and depression. Hollywood also had a habit of hiding tragedies. Actress Peg Entwistle jumped to her death from the Hollywood sign after struggling to find work. Ironically, a letter offering her a role arrived shortly after her death. Her story became a haunting symbol of broken dreams. Some stories are strange in a darker, almost unbelievable way. Actor Tyrone Power fainted during a sword fight scene, but the cameras kept rolling. The footage was used in the final film. The audience had no idea they were watching a real medical emergency. Then there is the strange case of silent film star Rudolph Valentino. When he died suddenly at a young age, fans went into mass hysteria. Riots broke out at his funeral. Some women reportedly fainted, while others attempted suicide. His death revealed the intense emotional power Hollywood stars held over the public. Hollywood also experimented with dangerous technology. Early film lighting was so hot that actors suffered burns. Makeup contained toxic substances. Some performers experienced long-term health issues simply from doing their jobs. Safety regulations were almost non-existent. Another bizarre truth involves actress Hedy Lamarr. Known as one of the most beautiful women in Hollywood, she was also a brilliant inventor. She helped develop technology that would later become the foundation for Wi-Fi and Bluetooth. Yet Hollywood never took her intelligence seriously, focusing only on her appearance. Studios even controlled personal relationships. Actors were told who they could date and who they had to avoid. Real romances were hidden, fake romances were created, and genuine emotions were treated as marketing tools. Love became another performance. One of the strangest and saddest stories is that of Frances Farmer. After publicly criticizing the studio system, she was labeled difficult. She was later committed to mental institutions, where she was reportedly subjected to inhumane treatments. Whether every detail is true or not, her story reflects a system that punished those who resisted control. Hollywood also erased people when they became inconvenient. Actors who aged, got sick, or spoke out were quietly dropped. Their contracts ended, their names disappeared from headlines, and they were forgotten almost overnight. Fame was temporary, loyalty non-existent. Even animals weren't safe. Early Hollywood films often mistreated animals, pushing them beyond safe limits for dramatic scenes. Many animals were injured or killed during productions, long before animal welfare regulations existed. One of the most unsettling stories involves child actors. Many were overworked, underpaid, and denied normal childhoods. Some were even legally exploited by their own parents, with studios turning a blind eye. The psychological damage lasted a lifetime. Hollywood also had secret rules about morality. Actors were forced to maintain squeaky clean public images while studios covered up scandals behind closed doors. Arrests were hidden, pregnancies concealed, and crimes quietly settled with money. There is also the bizarre case of actor Warner Baxter, who suffered from chronic pain due to heavy metal makeup used in films. He became addicted to painkillers and eventually died from pneumonia related to his weakened health. Old Hollywood loved illusions, but those illusions came at a cost. Many stars lived in constant fear of losing everything. One mistake, one rumor, one refusal to obey, and their careers could vanish. Perhaps the most chilling truth is how normal all of this was. These stories weren't exceptions. They were part of a system designed to create dreams at any cost. Behind every glamorous photo was a real human being, often suffering in silence. As time passed, many of these stories were buried, forgotten, or dismissed as exaggerations. But history has a way of revealing the truth. Letters, court documents, interviews, and personal accounts have slowly pieced together the reality of old Hollywood. Today, we can admire the films, the performances, and the artistry. while also acknowledging the dark truths behind them. These bizarre stories remind us that fame does not equal happiness, and glamour does not erase suffering. Hollywood has changed, but echoes of the past still remain. The stories you heard today are not meant to ruin the magic of classic films, but to honor the people behind them. They endured unimaginable pressure, sacrifice, and pain to create entertainment that still moves us today. So the next time you watch an old movie, remember that behind the perfect lighting and scripted smiles were real lives, real struggles, and real stories.